Alright, for today I wanted to go over how to make these lovely little crochet pumpkins. With the holidays coming up, it's a very easy little project to create and for decoration around your home. Make it a little more festive with the fall coming up. Now to make this, we just need a few supplies. Our yarns, we'll need simply an orange and a brown yarn. I'm using just an acrylic yarn. These are Red Heart. In the description box, I'll have links for all that. We're going to be using a 4mm crochet hook to make this project. We'll need a darning needle. This is for weaving in ends and attaching this very top. It is possible to do it with your crochet hook, but I find it many times easier to use the darning needle. And then a simple marker. A marker can be anything. It could be a scrap piece of yarn. It's not necessary for this project, but I do find it is a nice little visual help. And you will also need some polyfill. So yeah, you'll need quite a bit more than this, but you just need some polyfill or stuffing to put inside of your pumpkin. I know a lot of people, they save their little scrap ends of their yarn to also do for stuffing inside of these. So, but anyway, a stuffing material. To begin this project, we're going to start and create a magic ring. So just create a circle with your ring. And then put your hook inside the circle, draw up the working end to create a little loop, and then chain one. And then what we want to do is single crochet into this ring 10 times. 1, 'Alright, now we have our 10 single crochets into the ring. Now what we want to do is take the tail end of our magic ring and just pull it to close. And then we will slip stitch into that first single crochet of the round in order to join it. And there we are, there is round 1. For round 2, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put 2 single crochets into this first stitch where we slip stitched into. And then into our next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through your last 2 loops. And you want to put 2 of those into that second single crochet from the first row. And then into the next 2 stitches, we want to put 2 single crochets. And then your next stitch, 2 double crochets. And we're just going to repeat this going all the way around. So we just did 2 double crochets, so 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, all the way around until you get back to the end over here, and you should end with 2 double crochets. Alright, so we followed this all the way around. We've finished our last 2 double crochets into the 1 stitch for the round. So find your 2 single crochets into the first, and then find that first single crochet, and you simply want to slip stitch into there in order to join the round. And there we are, that is round 2. For round 3, we're going to chain 1, then into that same stitch that we slip stitched into, want to put 1 single crochet into there. And then into our next stitch, this gets a little bit weird here. We want to put 1 single crochet, and then into that same stitch, we want to put 1 double crochet. And then into our next stitch, we want to put 1 double crochet. And then into our next stitch, we want to put 2 double crochets. And we just want to kind of repeat that going all the way around. So into our next stitch here, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And then into this stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 double crochet. And then 1 double crochet into your next stitch. And then 2 double crochets into your next stitch. And so just repeat that pattern all the way back till we get to the end. And then what we're going to do is that first single crochet of the round, we're going to slip stitch into that stitch right there in order to join the round. I'll be right back and show you round 3. So here is the end of round 3. For round 4, what we're going to do is, once again, chain 1, then into our next 2 stitches, we're going to put 1 single crochet, and then into our next stitch here, we want to put 1 or 2 double crochets, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then into the next one, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And we're just going to repeat this pattern going all the way around. So we're going to repeat it 4 more times. I'll do 1 more of the repeats with you. So we're going to single crochet into our first 2 stitches, 1 time into the first 2, and then to our next stitch, which is the top of a double crochet from the previous row, we want to put 2 double crochets into there. And then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And then just keep repeating. All right, we have just completed round 4. And at the end of the round, we slip stitched into our first single crochet of the round in order to join. For round 5, we're going to chain 1, and then into our next 2 single crochets, well, starting in the one we slip stitched into, we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we're going to put 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets into this next stitch. And then double crochet 1 time into the next 3 stitches. And then into the next stitch, 2 double crochets. And then we're just going to repeat that 4 more times going around. So what we're doing is basically we're taking a circle and doing our increases, but we're working. We have along our edges, these are the single crochets and these are all the double crochets. So we're basically just using the width and everything to make it a big bump out instead of just a basic circle. So we're still right here in the bottom of it. So I'll work the next little repeat again with you. 2 single crochets or 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 double crochet into the next stitch. 2 double crochets into our next stitch. 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into our next stitch. And then single crochet, and then just continue doing your repeats. And there we have the end of round 5. And at the end we slip stitched into our first single crochet of the round in order to join. All right, and now for round 6. What we're going to do is single crochet into that first stitch where we slip stitched into, chain 1, and then single crochet into the first stitch where we slip stitched into, and then single crochet into the next stitch also. And then into our next 2 stitches, we're going to put 1 double crochet. And then into our next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And then we're going to double crochet 1 time into the next 4 stitches. And then into the next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And then we just do a repeat of that going around. So I'll do the next little repeat here for you along with you. So it's 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. One single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. One double crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And then you just repeat that 3 more times. And then once you get to the end, we'll slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round in order to join. So we've just finished round 6. So now round 7, we're going to chain 1, then into that same stitch where we slip stitched into, we start our repeat. So we single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet into the second stitch, and then double crochet once into the next 3 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we put 2 double crochets. Then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. And then we're going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And there's our repeat. We want to do that 4 more times. I'll do one more with you. So it's 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, double crochet once into the next 3 stitches, two double crochets into the next stitch, one double crochet into the next 5 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then repeat that 3 more times until we get to the beginning, and there we single or slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round in order to join. And there we've just completed round 7. For round 8, we're going to start and chain 1, and then to begin our repeat for this round, we're going to single crochet into the same stitch that we slip stitched into, and then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to double crochet 1 time into the next 4 stitches, and then double crochet 2 times into the next stitch, and then double crochet 1 time into the next 6 stitches, and then into our next stitch, 2 double crochets, and then we repeat that 4 more times going around. I'll do the next repeat with you. So single crochet into the first 2 stitches, double crochet into the next 4 stitches, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into your next 6 stitches. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And there we are. Go ahead and repeat that 3 more times until we get to the end. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch of the round in order to join. So now we've completed round 8. So for round 9, we're going to again chain 1 because we're starting a round, and then single crochet into that same stitch we slip stitched into, and then single crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches. And then there is our first repeat for the round. Now we want to repeat it 4 more times. I'll do another of the repeat with you. So it's 2 or 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, which is the same as the single crochet stitches we've been doing all along. And then 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches. And 14, and just go ahead and repeat that 3 more times. And at the end of the round, be sure to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round in order to join. All right, so we've just completed round 9. Now for round 10 through 16, we are simply repeating round 9. So we do 6 more repeats of round 9. All right, so we've just finished up row 15. So for row 16, kind of like we've done with the other rows, into that same stitch where we slip stitched into, we're gonna single crochet into there, and then single crochet 1 time into the next stitch. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then what we're going to do is double crochet decrease, or known as double crochet 2 together. So we yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through your first 2 loops, and then yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through your first 2 loops. So now we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and go through all 3 loops, and that is your double crochet decrease. I've also heard it referred to as double crochet 2 together. And now you want to double crochet 1 time into the next 6 stitches. And then we want to do another double crochet decrease into the last 2, the next 2 stitches. And then we just want to repeat from there to there 4 more times. So I'll do 1 more of these repeats with you. So into your next 2 stitches, you want to put 1 double crochet into the next, or 1 single crochet into the next 2 single crochet stitches. And then you want to double crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then double crochet decrease. And then double crochet into your next 6 stitches. And then double crochet decrease. And then just repeat that 3 more times. And then once you're at the beginning, you want to slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch of the round in order to join. All right, we've just finished up row 16. So we chain 1. And for row 17, that is, we chain 1 and then single crochet into that same stitch we slip stitched into to join the round, and then single crochet once into the next stitch also. Now you want to put 1 double crochet into your next 3 stitches. And then we're going to double crochet decrease into the next stitches. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. And then double crochet decrease again. All right, and then we just want to repeat that 4 more times. I'll do 1 more of the repeats with you. So we want to put 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then we want to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then we want to do a double crochet decrease. And then we want to double crochet once into the next 5 stitches. and then double crochet, decrease. And then just repeat that 3 more times, and at the end we want to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we created of the round in order to join. Alright, so we've completed round 17. For round 18, we're going to chain 1, and then single crochet into that first stitch we slip stitched into, and then single crochet into the next stitch. And then we want to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to double crochet, decrease. And then we get to double crochet into the next 4 stitches. And double crochet, decrease. And we just want to repeat that 4 more times. I'll do one more of the repeats here with you. So we single crochet into once into the next 2 stitches, and then we double crochet once into the next 2 stitches, and then we double crochet, decrease, and then double crochet into the next 4 stitches, and then double crochet a decrease, and there we just want to repeat that 3 more times, and then at the once we hit the end, slip stitch into your first single crochet stitch you made of the round in order to join. All right, and now for round 19. We're going to start it off same as others. Chain 1, and then for your repeats, your first single crochet goes into the stitch that we slip stitch to join the round into. So single crochet into your first stitch and the second stitch. And then we want to double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to double crochet, decrease. And then we double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then a double crochet, decrease. And then we just want to repeat that 4 more times. I'll do one more of the repeats with you. Single crochet into your next 2 stitches. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet, decrease. Double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then double crochet, decrease, and then just repeat that 3 more times going around. And whenever you come back to beginning, slip stitch into your first single crochet of the round in order to join. All right, so we've just completed row 19 for row 20. We'll go ahead and start chain 1. And then for our repeats, same as we've done for other rows, our first single crochet goes into that same stitch we slip stitched into to join, and then single crochet into the next stitch, and then double crochet, decrease, double crochet into the next 2 stitches, double crochet, decrease, and then you just want to repeat that going all the way around, so 4 more times. I'll do 1 more of the repeats with you. So we single crochet into once into the next 2 stitches, and then we double crochet, decrease, and then double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then double crochet, decrease, and then just repeat that 3 more times. And once you get to the beginning of the round, you want to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round in order to join. All right, now for round 21, we'll chain 1, and then single crochet for our repeats. We single crochet into our first stitch, because this is the first stitch that is the same stitch that we slip stitched into to join the round. And then we're going to single crochet, decrease. So for this, we go into the stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then into our next stitch, we're going to do 1 double crochet, and then a double crochet, decrease, and we simply repeat that 4 more times going around. I'll do the next repeat with you. Single crochet into your first next stitch, and then single crochet, decrease, double crochet into your next stitch, and then double crochet, decrease, and then repeat that 3 more times. All right, so now that we've finished that round, what I like to do here is start stuffing your pumpkin. So I like to use small bits at a time. You can pull up a large loop for your hook so it's not bouncing all over the place. And while stuffing, I more so concentrate trying to get them into the little bump out sections of our pumpkin. And you can stuff as little or as much as you want. I do not recommend using poly pellets for this because we do have double crochet stitches into this one and they'll most likely fall out. All right, so once you get that a decent stuffing, we could always add more here shortly. Now what we're going to want to do is closing up the opening. So we had that first stitch. So we're not going to go into the stitch we slip stitched into. We're going to go into the next stitch and we're going to single crochet, decrease. And then we're going to do another single crochet, decrease. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And then 10. This one we're kind of almost like working in the round. All right. And then from here, pull up extra yarn. I say give yourself about 12 to 18 inches. Then double check your stuffing of your entire pumpkin. Make sure you like the amount that's in it. Because right here we can put little bits into it still. And then with our darning needle, pull this all the way through. And then we simply use our darning needle to close up this opening a little bit more. I do like to make a little bit of a knot here just to try and keep that a little more so closed. So I'm just weaving in and out of the stitches. Just an over under going around. And then just give that a quick little pull. And then do a little back and forth between the opening to either side. Create a small knot. And all we're doing is just trying to secure and make sure the opening stays closed. And once you're happy with it, go ahead and just weave in the end. and then tie off. And then make sure to weave in the ends from the very bottom of your pumpkin also. And we'll be right back to do the stem. All right, and so for our stem, we're going to take our brown yarn, create a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 10. And then into our second chain from our hook, we're going to single crochet and into each stitch all the way down. So 9 single crochets, and then we chain 1, turn our work, and then working in back loops only. Skip that first because that chain 1 counted as a stitch, and then we just single crochet into all of our chains across. So 9 single crochets, chain 1, turn, skip your first, and single crochet into the next 9 stitches, working in back loops only. You want to keep repeating this. Now for your stem, you could always make it thicker, but personally, I just like those couple of rows. We had our chain 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a nice little thick. Now what we're going to do is simply use the slip stitch method. So bring your tail end, and I'm kind of laying it into the center where we're folding this. I'm just going to go from the loop on this side, one of the chains on this side, yarn over, and pull through all of our loops. So because we want to keep that little rib, we're using the back stitch on this side, come through the next chain, because this was a chain where we started, pull through all 3 loops, Now I do prefer using the slip stitch method because it does tend to give, at least for me, every time I make it for the stem, kind of like a little curve to it. So we pull up a loop. I'd say give yourself about 6 inches and pull that. So we have our little tails. Now the shorter one, I'm going to just take our darning needle and I'm just going to weave that into the stem because we won't be using that one to attach. And then just tie off. All right, so now our last part is to attach our stem to our pumpkin. So thread the longer end into our darning needle. And then we just set the stem right into the center of our pumpkin. And we want to look at the stitches right around where the stem sets. Just go into the loops. And for your first one, I do like to put a knot, just a simple knot into them as I'm starting to put them on, just to make sure we have a good secure attach. And then just keep going through, pulling up a loop. But don't go out too far as it'll make it look kind of funny. So keep it close about the width of the stem. Alright, once you have it sewn all the way around, I like to put a little knot to secure it and then just kind of weave in the ends. And if you didn't get a decent little curve while you're weaving it in, you could always give it a little bit of a tug to help pull it. Kind of give it that little curve of a pumpkin because they're never perfectly straight. Well, I can't say never. And there we have it. Our lovely little crochet pumpkin. Use them decorating all over your house. I know I've made them for my nieces and nephews. Lots of fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a little thumbs up, like, and comment. And if you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.